All right, all right. Wow. Hello, everybody. Hello. Let me switch over here. Get rid of this music. Wow, just wow, man. Wow, this was outstanding. What's up, everybody? Can you believe we're back? Can you hear me? First of all, can you hear me? Hear me now. Can you believe we're back 3 years later? 3 years later, talking about House of the Dragon / Game of Thrones. Damn good pilot episode. Wow. Pretty damn good. I loved Daemon immediately. There we go. Sneaky with the Daemon. We got Daemon emojis now. Let's see. What's up, everybody? I'm trying to go through here. I see everybody. It's just scrolling by, so I apologize. I miss you. I apologize. I'll just catch as I scroll by, so I don't lose anything. Hello, Allison Rose. How are you? Welcome back, Jimmy. Todd Black, Kate R, Lady Jen, Jessica, Meg Paul, Mazuma. What's up, man? T Cut, Sneaky McCheese, Chica. Hello. Pretty Pink MMA. Tom Bystander, Albert Brighton, Mike Clinton, Maria Noel, hello. Yeah, that just happened. Gina, how are you? ATC, what's up? Becky, Dan, Legal Jedi, hello, Legal, how are you? Welcome back. It's been a while. Evil Villain, what's up, Evil? Nolan Saints, Lord Kiv, Raw, how are you? Marquita, hello. Luann, how are you? Scott of Castle Rock, Alan. It's just starting to fly by now. We're actually flying by a little bit. It's really exciting to be back. What's up, Nata? Maybe I'm too critical. I thought there were two things that looked off, Chrissy. What'd you think looked off, Nat? Let me say this up front. Why didn't we get? I was disappointed a little bit. First of all, why didn't we get an intro? We didn't get an intro. Like I was waiting on, dun 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 dun, dun or whatever. The music at the end was good. It was like a kind of a choir version of the old thing. Ramon and his music is back. What's up, Matty Benz? How are you? CT, what's up? Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm sorry I can't get everybody. Let's see. Lauren, what's up, Lauren? Sorry, Lauren. That's Nightbot. Nightbot. You used all capitals. You can't use all capitals and too many emojis, or Nightbot would time me out for a second. So, Lauren, that was not a person. Just to let you know. But yeah, the no title screen or title, intro. I guess what I'm saying, the credits roll and I didn't expect them to do exactly like Game of Thrones, but I figured they would. Maybe we'll get that in the episode too. Hello, Alyssa, Alan, ATC, Tequila, Vanilla Swirl. Hello, Bolting and Vulture. What's up? The whole episode was a cold open. Yeah, it might have been. It really might have been. I mean, essentially, that's kind of what it was. Maybe we'll get it next week. Kate. Yeah, Kate says next week. Nyman, hello. Sarah K. There's a Stark scene where Lord's. Yes, that was Rickon Stark. Rickon was the Lord. He won't be Lord at the end of the Dance of the Dragons in a few years, because this is like 15 years prior. So we're going to get a big time jump, probably episode 6, I'm guessing, 5 or 6, whatever it may be. But that was Rickon Stark, yeah, the current Lord. I didn't like his look at all, but it doesn't really matter. We won't see him again. Carol Brown, there she is. What's up, the DC Diva? I saw you live tweeting. I was trying to. I got notes scribbled here, so I guess what I'll do is go through just kind of my thoughts on everything in general, and then we'll just leave it open for anything, obviously, as usual. What's up, Captain Photon? How are you? Hoonjob, what's up, man? Yankee fan. Looking forward to a new intro, but I will hear all this. But will we hear at all the Stark name as they are they around? Not much until the end. You will see at least one scene later. It'll be this probably next season, I would imagine. I don't know how they're going to do it. But we will see Winterfell at least once, but it won't be a constant thing. And that'll be Cregan Stark, the next Lord of Winterfell. So right now it's Rickon, and then we'll get Krieg in at the end. Lord Commander Manny, what's up, man? There he is. We back. Where's James? James is on first shift or whatever, working regular, and don't have this. The schedule's not lining up to do this on Sunday nights anymore. Hope he watched. I meant to text him, but I was trying to rush up here and get this started. So, Naaman, yeah, Danny, they made sure we knew this was 178 years. I think they're using before Danny. So, really cool to see. So let's start there. We had the cold open. We kind of guessed this, right? And then I'll just quickly kind of go through it, and then we can talk about anything, everything. What's up, Tim? How you doing? I wanted to sit there and say hello to everybody. Now I usually do. I feel bad when I don't see a chat or something, but we'll get through this and then we'll go through. Alan Fortune, thank you for the super chat. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Alan. Brittany, thank you for subscribing. Do me a huge favor before we get started, by the way. For you guys who are returning, I just wanted to mention this. I always have to plug my book, Dark Fantasy, Medieval Fantasy. Get the book. Amazon, very cheap right now, or anywhere you want to get a book. But Amazon, it's really cheap right now. I think it's $7 for the hardcover right now, and like $3 or $2 for the paperback. So the Crimson Gods is live. Thank you guys who have gotten it so far and left reviews. Really cool to see the book doing a little something as well. I meant to actually pin that up there, but I guess I could do that really quick. And then I just meant to do that. And it's one thing, I always have to have a fail, a streamer fail. So let me grab that, and copy that. Okay, we'll do that. Get rid of that. There we go. And this is, I don't know why this does this on the screen, but let me do that, and then, oops, nope. And then I want to pin message. All right, so that'll be up top there, but it'll look weird on screen for some reason. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, what's up, Peach? How are you? We want 1,000 in the chat tonight. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah, that'd be cool. We got 420. Look at that, 420. It's jumping up there. Yeah, and please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. As Carol was mentioning earlier, we're trying to see if we can revive this channel and get to 100K. I'll feel better when we get back to 84,000. We had 84,000 at the end of Season 8. But anyway, it doesn't matter right now. What matters is you guys are here. We're all back 3 years later watching House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, the first spinoff prequel. And, yeah, it was pretty damn good. I have a couple little minor gripes, but we'll get to that. So the cold open. I call this, I think a lot of people probably guessed this as well, but we had the cold open with the Great Council. So we only saw Jaehaerys for just a couple minutes, but they essentially told us, and we had regular, I was going to say old, but older Rhaenyra, not that she's old later on. Older Rhaenyra was doing the voiceover. Thank you, Cypher. Appreciate that, man. Oh, thank you. I just saw, who was that again? Who was that? It's not on my list. Somebody just dropped 20 gifted channel memberships. I meant to say that earlier, too. Evil Villain, thank you, man. Sorry, Nightbot's grabbing capital stuff. Evil Villain, he just donated 20 subs. Again, thank you, man. 20, channel memberships. I'm used to being on Twitch. 20 channel memberships, but you have to go enable to receive gifts somehow. I'm not exactly sure. I think you do it like there's something that should pop up and you can enable receiving those. So, and then it goes to random people who are usually the most active. So just to give you a heads up on that in case you see something like that pop up, that'll give you a membership, which will give you emojis and all that kind of stuff. Nat, there was one or two shots where when one overlooked and gave it final draft approval, and some structures looked super fake and posed. It looked off. Yeah, there were a couple things. You can kind of tell where the sets begin, and then the kind of the CGI in the background, I guess, begins and the sets end. Yes, thank you, Meg Paul. I don't know exactly how you do that. I know I posted on the other day. I looked it up. There's 2 different ways to do it, but I'm not sure. So if you want to share that information, I don't know how it works with gifted subs on here or gifted memberships, but Anyway, all right. So thank you, Eva Villain. Ellen, thank you for subscribing as well. Appreciate that. All right. So the cold open, Great Council. We saw basically it set up basically what it's going to be about. You had Jaehaerys there. His 2 sons had died, and Rhaenys was the eldest child left of his eldest son. Her father, Aemon, had died due to an accident, and then her uncle had died. So his other eldest son, his second eldest son. So it left it up to her, and Viserys, and the council overwhelmingly voted for Viserys, so that made him king. And then we jumped ahead 9 years, of course, and then we got the text on the screen where they said this is the 9th year of Viserys' reign, and 172 years before Daenerys Targaryen was born. So they made sure to hit us with that for sure. Let's see. Lauren, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much, Lauren Capri. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know if you meant to type a message. If you did, be sure to retype that, and somebody will grab it. A mod can grab it. Also, for you Patreon members, by the way, I do have a post there. So Patreon has first dibs. That way I won't miss any questions if you have anything or comments or whatever you would like to share. There is a post on Patreon. So we jumped up, and then we opened. Of course, they had to open with Syrax. Of course, we had to see a dragon. I loved it. Loved just seeing... It was just a different feel, because in Game of Thrones, when that first happened, it was such a magical moment. In this world, it's just normal. It's just normal. Very, very much Dany vibes for young Rhaenyra. I like Millie Alcock playing young Rhaenyra. She's kind of the Arya Stark style character. She's a dragon rider. She's got the fiery Targaryen attitude. She doesn't want to be a lady, it doesn't seem. Which is a little bit different from books. She seemed to be happy later on to have kids and all that stuff in the book. So there are a lot of differences they're doing for some of the story. As a matter of fact, the whole relationship between her and Alicent, they're best friends in the show, obviously, and that's going to make it more of a tragic story. But that's not quite the case in the books. There's probably a 10-year age difference in the books. They're very young, so they did age everybody up, so the timeline is not going to be exactly right as far as the book goes, so maybe we might get some of that wrong, but they're kind of compressing some things, which they have to. There's Doc Halliday. What's up, man? John Haymaker. What's up, man? Stefan, how are you? There's Diane Harris. What a dragon smell like. I was going to mention that, Diane. It's pretty interesting, threw that in there. But we opened up with Rhaenyra Syrax going to the dragon pit. We got to see the dragon pit and how big this thing was. We saw it in Game of Thrones where it had been destroyed after basically 200 years, and so now we see it in its full glory. It in the books it holds like 80,000 people, so really cool to see that. The Dragon Keepers were a really good touch. That was speaking high of Valyrian. That's pretty good little minor thing that they didn't have to include. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference with HBO is they don't miss anything. And by the way, thank you for everybody subscribing and members joining. I apologize. I don't see it on my list, so I don't know if that's probably those gifted ones, but thank you. So seeing the dragon pit and then immediately establishes their friendship and all that stuff. So the dragon pit is on the hill of Visenya. I believe it's the hill of Visenya, or Rhaenys. And so that's the different, there's 3 major locations for buildings there, where the Sept, the Dragon Pit, and then the Red Keep is. And that was Aegon's High Hill where the Red Keep is. So really cool to see the Dragon Pit. And you got to see Syrax a little bit. The dragons will grow. So the dragons will grow for sure. So you saw a smaller Syrax for now. That will definitely change. Really cool to see that, and just a normal thing, flying over the city, nobody cares, whereas, of course, Game of Thrones world, everybody would be freaking out, just like they did when we saw that on GOT. We saw the Red Keep kind of like bustling, like city life, whatever. I thought that was cool. It wasn't just like a couple people in a room like we saw in Game of Thrones. You remember we watched Game of Thrones, and it was so perfect, but they did it better. They didn't, more budget, all that stuff, and then having the experience of Game of Thrones obviously helps with that as well. So we saw the Red Keep. Interesting artwork. Did anybody notice the Kama Sutra artwork all over the walls? We had seen a couple pictures of that, and I didn't mention any video or anything, but we got a couple shots of the artwork, which was Interesting. I want to know who put that up. I mean, it wouldn't have been Jaehaerys, I don't think. There you go. We got all the Jonathan. There's Jonathan Book grabbing a gifted membership. Thank you, Evil Villain, for the 20 gifteds again, man. Appreciate that. Now people are grabbing those, I think. But yeah, the artwork on the walls. I mean, it was all just like Kama Sutra style images. I couldn't get a clear shot on anything in particular, but I just thought that was interesting. I wonder if Viserys had that put up. It was really good to see Rhaenyra and Aemma Arryn. Aemma Arryn could have been a side character, could have been mentioned once or just seen one time sitting there at the Great Council, and then had could have been a couple of days later and we were told she had died or something. It was good to see that relationship, and that kind of gave us insight into her thinking versus Rhaenyra, who's like basically, like I said, kind of like Arya. She'd rather ride in the battle, that type of thing. Yeah, 538. Awesome, man. Awesome, man. Thank you guys who are subscribing. Scott McKenzie for subscribing. Really appreciate that. Be really cool if we get to 78K. That'd be cool. Or 77.1 would be fine with me. But yes, what's up, Miss Empress? How are you? Donald Combs. But yeah, the ice. We'll get to that, Donald. We're going to get to that. So I'm going to go and kind of just run down this real quick, and then we can talk about anything free for all, of course, as usual. So really good to see Aemma Arryn and that relationship, and you know, it makes it even more of a tragedy because there's a horrible decision Viserys has to make later, and it makes you feel horrible either way. It's a lose-lose for everybody. So good to see that, and then she talks about the childbirth thing. So they're really kind of obviously showcasing childbirth in that era and the gender roles and all that stuff, which is what the story's about, always has been. We see the small council, man. I love Corlys. Corlys was immediately liked him because he just like straight to business. Bringing up the Kragus Drahar, the crab feeder. I talked about him in one of my House of the Dragon videos in the list there, and I won't go into any spoilers here, but he will be an interesting character of the Trauarchy. So there's kind of setting up with the War of the Stepstone, which I imagine will start in the next couple of episodes, for sure, because we're going to see, I think we're going to see Laenor Velaryon help with that, maybe Rhaenys as well. We'll see on Melee, so we'll see. That's not a book thing. Only Daemon rides Caraxes into that fight, but we're going to see get some help. You had Viserys on the council. Obviously, he's the king. You had Corlys, who is the master of ships. Watch out for capital letters. Watch out for that spam bot there. We have a spam bot. Somebody can grab that. Thank you. Watch out for capitals. All capitals. Nightbot would time you out. That's just it's a bot thing. It's not a person. Otto Hightower, Hand of the King, dickhead, but he is the essentially who starts the Green Party with his daughter. You can see how much of a dickhead he is. I've said this before. This is why I say that. So, and thank you. I see your super chats too. I apologize. I'll get to those in a second. You have Lyman Beesbury. You'll see him again. Don't know how they're going to do it. Probably. I mean, obviously, we'll see more probably council meetings. I'm saying he'll have a little role to play without going into any spoilers. Lionel Strong, Master of Laws. You saw him there. His family will be important, especially. With Rhaenyra later on. Larys Strong is the master of whispers during this time, but I didn't see him there, so I don't know if they're just kind of skipping that spot or whatever. Don't want to have too many Strongs because Harwin is also Daemon's second in command of the City Watch, and he's Breakbones, and he'll have the thing with Rhaenyra that we talked about before. And then Grand Maester Mellos, so he's going to be the Grand Maester. There were a few different ones during this time period, but that's the main one. So then we had the whole thing with dragons stinking. I thought that was a cool little detail. Like, you stink of dragon, go take a bath. So, like, what do they smell like? I mean, it makes sense. Those are the little details that will make this show really stand out for sure. Jason Williams, what's up, man? Yes, we're back. We're back with the live after shows. Carol, I was going to mention that later, but the Grand Maester, it makes you start wondering about the Maester conspiracy theory that has been around for years and years about them being really against Targaryens and dragons. And, Marwan the Mace talks about that in the current books or whatever, but I've never fully bought into it, but there's some little hints there that there may be something at least to that. So we'll see what they do with that with the Maesters. But they, it's just like, we know like modern medicine, they don't know shit, and this makes them look dumb, I guess. But then we had Daemon Rhaenyra, really good touch here. Rhaenyra goes in, Daemon's sitting on the throne. Loved Daemon immediately, especially after the City Watch thing. We'll talk about that in a second. I loved him immediately. Matt Smith has grown on me for sure. I did not like the look of him at first when we had all the teasers come out and the pictures and all that stuff. But I love Daemon. Now, I told everybody early on that he would probably be considered a main character and certainly a fan favorite, along with, right there with Rhaenyra as well. So immediately loved him. But the speaking High Valyrian is what really was the good touch there. Archon Jedi, Varys, he is a little too nice. That's exactly his character. Paddy Considine brought him to life in a way the books did not. And he's like he's kind of just wants everybody to get along type of king. So that's kind of the point that Daemon was making later. So really good touch there. Them speaking High Valyrian, they're kind of. It's only 100 years after Aegon, but remember they had stayed there for a long time on Dragonstone before doing anything, and the Doom of Valyrian was a long time before that. So they're still, learning about their own Valyrian roots. So it's a pretty cool little touch there with the High Valyrian. And then he gives her a Valyrian steel necklace. Pretty damn cool. What's up, Betrayed King? How are you? And then she mentions like Dark Sister. So, of course, they still at this point, it's only 200 years right now or so. So they don't know anything about Valyrian steel, or anything like that. So this is not way far back when they still knew these secrets. Okay, yeah, I love Matt Smith now. He really grew on me for sure. Yes, Bolting, he did say it. He said we mourn in our own way. So he did say it, but I don't think he toasted it and made a party out of it. I think it was a little overblown. That's what Otto Hightower does, but he did actually say it apparently. So he did say we kind of mourn in our own ways, but he was also kind of goaded into it as well. So he didn't kind of explain himself fully. So anyway, we get the Nymeria, the Nymeria reference with Rhaenyra and Alicent. We start to see their relationship. Again, this is not a book thing in the show. They are really close. Obviously, they're BFFs. They're aged up a little bit as well. They're hanging out in the Godswood. That's such a big change. There is no Godswood, or there's no weirwood tree in the Godswood at King's Landing. It's actually an oak. The heart tree is. So they're adding that back to the show for this magical element, I think. So we'll get some more dreams or some visions or something's going to go on with some magic, which I think is a great idea for the show. So we saw them at the Godswood. They made a reference to Nymeria, the 10,000 ships in the Rhoynar, and her marrying Mors Martell, and that's when she conquered Dorne. So that's another show that potentially is coming. So that was a little nod to that, I think, as well. We'll see if we ever get 10,000 ships as far as the show. I don't think that would be one to be made, honestly, ahead of, say, Dunk and Egg, for example, but they are at least giving nods to that. Viserys has this weird spot on his back. That's not a book thing to my knowledge. It seems to be implying cancer. I don't think that's the way he's going to go. I think they'll keep that book accurate. I won't get into the spoilers there, but I think that's just to kind of foreshadow things to come. There's a problem there. But it's a different health issue book-wise. And of course, it's all about him wanting a son. He keeps kind of reiterating that in the council meetings, all that stuff as well. So, thank you, Celeste, for subscribing, and Delta, thank you, and then Ibith, and I believe that's all I've seen in my. I'm sorry, some of these things are not popping up my list, but thank you, everybody. Yes, exactly, Sammy. We're going to get to that. Otto Hightower whoring out his daughter is exactly what he did. So we get Daemon with the gold cloaks, establishing the gold cloaks. This is really cool how they're tying this in and mentioning these things. This is how the gold cloaks started. They were already a city watch, but this is how they became known as the gold cloaks. Excuse me. And it was really cool to see, and so that apparently just happened. And then he goes on his first night out and just goes on a rampage. He don't give a damn. If you steal something, you lose the hand. If you are a sexual assaulter, I can't say the R word on here probably, you lose the balls immediately. You're castrated. If you do something any worse than that, you lose your head. He takes body parts. He just don't give a damn. But I guarantee you people think twice about stealing and Orin and all that other shit, man. So I loved him immediately when he came into the council meeting after that. and was getting on Otto Hightower talking shit, and then he says something to the effect of, if you ever left the safety of the Red Keep, you would know that people in the city think it's dangerous and scary. It was just, I love that line from Daemon. It just immediately established their rivals. They're going to be big rivals, and of course that played out in the tournament as well, as he picked his son. Speaking of the tournament, we go to the tournament, and this is what I was saying earlier. Somebody mentioned Viserys. This is what he does to keep the peace. He has all these tournaments. He has many tournaments. We'll see more, or then maybe they combine a few. He has, kind of lavish get-togethers and parties. And he just wants everybody to get along. So that's why he was saying he's weak and he's kind of indecisive. But we had the tournament. It did look cool to see the jousting and see it in action, as opposed to, Game of Thrones. It was cool, but there was only like 10 people there, and colorful, all their heraldry, all that stuff as well was cool to see. And this was to introduce us to Sir Criston Cole, the Dornishman from House Cole. So that was really what that was set up. And then I like the parallels they did with the birth, the childbirth at the same time as the joust, and Daemon fighting Sir Criston Cole. So both Daemon and, of course, Aemma lost, so that was a sad moment. I couldn't imagine that decision. I saw some people tweeting right before I got on, like, I hate Viserys now and all that, but can you imagine that decision? You're in that kind of a world. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to see. But yeah, a sad moment, but then he lost his son too, which was Balon, by the way. So he did name the son Balon, and that was what Daemon got in trouble for saying heir for a day, which was actually just a few hours. So we meet Sir Criston Cole. He beat some Tarly dude. They had a little reference to the Mystery Knight. I noticed that with Rhaenyra. She said, Gregor says 5.5 out of 10. Okay, we'll get there, Gregor. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But she said, who is this Mystery Knight? And, of course, I think that's a little nod to Lyanna Stark. I think that's a nod to the Knight of the Laughing Tree in the modern story. But it was a way for us to, learn about Sir Criston Cole, meet him, get introduced. You can see that Rhaenyra likes him in that way. In some ways, she's smiling. She's, interested in who he is, and gives him her favor after he wins, but he doesn't go on to win the tournament. They didn't show the rest of the tournament. He did. We also saw our Rhaenys come into the picture. That was Rhaenys who stepped up and gave the favor to either, I'm not sure if that was Boros or Royce Baratheon. That was her cousin. Her mom was Alyssa Baratheon, so I believe I could be saying that wrong. So she is part Baratheon. In the book, she actually has black hair. With silver streaks as she gets older. So they changed that, but we got the kind of introduction to Rhaenys. We'll see a lot more of her as well. So cool little references to the Mystery Knight and all that stuff as well. I thought that was cool. I picked up on that. Again, I could be reading into it a little more, but we'll see. Lady Celtic, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, Lady Celtic. You're the best. Thank you. And I missed one earlier. I'm sorry. Where's my super chats here? Let me find this other one here. Let me go. So I missed one that I meant to get to, and I didn't see it in my little list anymore. Hold on one second here. I apologize. I think I can go here and see them. Let's see. Yes, Tina. Thank you, Tina. Tina for the other super chat as well. And then Lady Jen, thank you. I'm hooked. Where's the smoke screen? There's fire. Thank you so much, Lady Jen and Tina. That's what I missed earlier. I apologize. Trying to keep up. I don't remember how to do this. Remember, it's been only 3 years since we had a real live stream after a show where there are people piling in. So let's see here. Let me go back to that here. Frank XRP, thank you for the super chat as well. When does Rhaenyra's sister come? Rhaenyra, I'm not sure what sister you're talking about. She has more, she'll have half siblings whenever he gets remarried. So that'll be probably the end of the season when we start seeing, we'll see a time jump for sure. So that'll be later when Alicent marries her father. So that's going to be a weird situation. All right, to finish this real quick, just to get through, Daemon in the list chooses Gwaine Hightower. Gwaine is the son of Otto because he hates Otto, so he picked him to whoop his ass in the joust. So I thought that was cool. But you'll see that parallel between Daemon and Otto and their rivalry, and then of course Rhaenyra and Alicent. It's going to be a parallel type thing. They did the thing where they kind of did while the tournament was going on, they had Aemma going through childbirth, and that was kind of cool the way they kind of went back and forth between those. And, you had the balance of the tournament and then her going through that on the birthing bed or whatever, and then him having to make this horrible decision. And, again, Daemon kind of won but then talked shit, and stood there and then ended up losing. I'm sorry, what are we saying, Diane? I apologize. Here, I'm trying to find. Hold on 1 second. I was just looking for. Diane, I was looking for whatever you said last. I can't find it now. I apologize. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to scroll back up because I saw something fly by, but somebody just said you're going to bed, I guess. So I don't know what's happening. Frank, thank you for the super chat again. She will eventually, without going too far, but I think this is pretty clear. She will eventually marry her uncle, but not, I'll just leave it there for the sake, just in case people don't know who's who exactly yet, to avoid some spoilers. Anyway, so that horrible decision there, and then you had the funeral with Balon and Aemma, and then the little thing there where she says, "I'll never be a son" to Daemon. That's what Rhaenyra says. Kind of the whole thing kind of got under her skin about the son thing, but at the same time she's sad about her mother and she feels bad for her father and all that stuff. But you can see the conflict. So that was pretty cool. As far as how they wrote, I don't mean it's pretty cool that those people died, but that's just a story. It was cool to see. We go back to see the council. I was glad to see Corlys supporting Daemon. He was like, the son has an heir because Otto Hightower, the bastard, is automatically like, we got to talk about those. We got to talk about succession. And they're not even the fire's still burning outside, and it's just one of those things. So, yeah, the Hightower Hill. It was kind of lame. It was more like classical night Monty Python style, but they all have their own styles. They can't all be as cool as Daemon for sure. Never go full Otto, says Eric Cartman. But Otto, yeah, man, he just starts unknown immediately, and he finally kind of stands up to Otto and has a moment where he's like, this is my brother you're talking about. You told him he couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. That was your solution, and now you're bitching about it. Comparing him to Maegor the Cruel and all that stuff. And Corlys, we find out, I think it's an interesting little thing. He's still a little bitter. He's still a little bitter over his wife Rhaenys and his son Laenor being passed over before. So there's a little bit of that in there. Be interesting to see that play out. And of course, they'll join up for the Stepstones, him and Daemon. So that's going to be fun. Immediately, like somebody said earlier, Otto starts touring out his daughter. He calls Alicent in there and says, "Go see the king. And by the way, why don't you wear your mother's dress, one of your mother's dresses, to start that little thing?" She's biting her nails, so that's going to be a thing when she's nervous or whatever. So maybe we'll see some reoccurring thing with that. But he immediately knows what he's doing. He wants her to go in there and plant the seed for being the queen, the next queen. So he's just a bastard. I don't like him. This is why I'm Team Black, mostly because of him, because I do understand some things about Alicent, but him, he's a cocksucker. Sorry. Viserys in his PJs, and then it's kind of cool to see just like he carved, I don't know if it was King's Landing or just a random castle or whatever, he was carving stuff. Just, George R. R. Martin's talked about this, the boring stuff, like what a king's do in their free time. We know what Robert did, but what else? They have all this time. He's in there carving stuff. I thought that was kind of cool, and Alicent comes in there and starts the conversation, which plants the seed for their relationship, essentially. Daemon, Mr. Lord Fleabottom, Prince of the City, is back at the brothel with the orgy. You know, we did see. I meant to say that earlier. You know, we met. He's back down there, and that's when the whole, you know, heir for a day thing happened with Mysaria. Mysaria was the chick that he was, you know, getting it on with earlier. And I thought that was cool about Daemon too, though, the earlier scene where he is with Mysaria and people are watching, you know, through the little thing. It was cool, though. He was having some issues, and then she goes over to comfort him, and he let her do that. So they're lovers, and it shows his vulnerable side. So I thought that was cool. It wasn't just all badassery, and I'm gonna cut your fucking hand off for stealing. He does have feelings. He does love his family and his brother, and that's the cool thing about Daemon is he's a very great character with real feeling. I thought that was a cool little thing they put in there to let him be vulnerable for a second. It looked, maybe Delta. It looked like kind of like Dragonstone. I didn't really sit there and study it yet. I will. Maybe I will. I'm sure I'll watch it several more times. But it, you know, just cool to have that kind of stuff where, you know, what do they do in their free time? You know, what do they, what's their tax policy? We don't want to go over that, but you know what I'm saying? By the way, Nicole, if I didn't say hello earlier, Nicole Warden, welcome back, Nicole Warden. Good to see you too. It's a pencil, JF. It is a pencil. Chica, yeah, not much of a family man, but he does have kids later and stuff. You'll see what I'm saying. If you hadn't read. So then the whole heir for a day things happens back at the brothel with Mysaria, and then that's when he summons Daemon to the throne room, and they have their little fight. And I thought that was a pretty cool conversation. You know, basically he calls him weak, but he's not saying it to be an asshole in the sense of the word. He's saying you're indecisive, and I would protect you because I see Otto Hightower for who he is. He's a cunt, and he called him a cunt, and I loved it because it reminds me of the Hound, number one. And he's not afraid to say what he feels and what he feels is the truth. So that's what I like about him. So he's trying to protect him, and it was the whole thing about you've been, you know, king for 10 years, and you know, you've always just tried to send me away. You've never asked me to be your hand. He was like, why would I do that? Because I'm your brother, and that was hit pretty hard, man. So that was cool. But then he sends him off back to the Vale. He's not going back to the Vale. He'll try. We'll see that maybe. But he was going to take off with Mysaria and go across the Narrow Sea, and that's what we saw at the end. Him getting on Caraxes while he has decided now to make Rhaenyra his heir. And then we see that happen. We'll get to the whole prophecy thing in a second, but just saying at the end, he's not there while everybody's swearing fealty. We saw Hobart Hightower. He's not even the lord of Old Town. He's just a knight. I'm not sure why it was Hobart. Ormond Baratheon, Rickon Stark, as we mentioned earlier. It was cool to see some of those kind of bigger name lords coming to swear fealty. Daemon was not there, notably, and they were kind of switching between those. So it was pretty cool. And then Daemon getting on Caraxes, and the big thing, so he did decide to name Rhaenyra the heir, but the big thing was they did confirm the old mystery of Aegon the Conqueror knowing about the White Walkers. So they didn't say it. They didn't say White Walkers, but he knew about the coming threat, the living in the dead from the north, the winter, all that stuff. That's been a theory for I don't know how long, and George R. Martin said in an interview probably 3 or 4 years ago that there was speculation. So since then, it's really been like speculated upon. I have a 3-year-old video on, and I released another like re-edit of it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe just 2 weeks ago, if that, and kind of brought that back up, and they did absolutely 100% confirm it. And if you notice when he was telling Rhaenyra about the threat from the north, he looked down and grabbed the cat's paw dagger, and that is the same dagger that we will eventually would see Arya, and it'll probably be Jon in the books or whatever, use to kill the Night King. So that was pretty cool to confirm that. So Aegon, they mentioned Daenys the Dreamer. Daenys the Dreamer is the one who had the dream of the made it, basically Aenys Targaryen take his family and 5 dragons from Old Valyria to Dragonstone because of the Doom. The Doom happened 12 years later. Then apparently Aegon has dragon dreams too, or prophetic dreams, Aegon the Conqueror. So that was pretty cool to kind of confirm that, and they do pass that knowledge from king to king and now to queen or whatever. So really cool to confirm that. And now, of course, we have Viserys with kind of prophetic dreams, although he he did come true this episode. What he had seen, he heard the thundering hooves and all that stuff during the tournament. He heard swords clanking. That was during the tournament, but he did place an heir on the Iron Throne, but it was Rhaenyra, not his son, and so all those things happened just in a different way than he thought. So overall, it was a great first episode, a great introduction to the characters. I think visually stunning in most cases. Like Nat said, there's a couple little minor things, but I'll tell you the biggest issue I had was just really quick, and I'll just start answering your questions or whatever. A little bit of the dialogue was a little bit, info dumpy, composition type stuff where they kind of said some things unnaturally. It felt like in times, not a lot. It's not a big thing. It's just me being picky. I just noticed it. Like, if you know somebody, for example, you don't always just call them by their name, but they're trying to introduce. I understand why they're doing it. But they would call somebody, for example, their name when they wouldn't really need to. Or they mention Cyrax has grown a lot, just to introduce, that's not natural for two people that know each other and already know the dragon's name. It's just for the audience, if that makes sense. So I just noticed things like that, especially since I wrote a book, and went through a lot of editing with other people. So that was the only little complaint I had, was a couple little lines like that were a little bit like, there you go, chicken to jail, sex position. So a couple of those lines were unnecessary, but again, I understand what they're doing for the audience. Trying to put out some information and get us introduced to everything. Let me see here. I apologize. I know I got some super chats here. They're disappearing too fast here. Again, thank you, Lady Celtic. I saw that one. That was Nolan Saints. Thank you for the super chat as well. The werewood could have been cut down later by Baelor the Blessed. Who dat? Yeah, that's cool. They could certainly explain that, but in the books, I know at that time period, I'm pretty sure it's been gone since the first men. Or I'm not sure if the Andals. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's already been gone. But that could have certainly be a possibility. They could explain it. They don't have to. I mean, if they want to go that deep. Yeah, Nicole, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I agree. They kind of have to do that kind of stuff, not just names. I was just using that as an example, but yeah, you know how it was with Game of Thrones. If you had never read anything and you first started watching it, a lot of different names and similar names. These are all Valyrian people with similar sounding names. They repeat the names. They name each other. They name kids after previous Targaryens, so it's hard to keep up with all the names. So they got to do it to some degree. Let's see. Guild Acoustic Blake, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Chris, I'm glad you're live streaming after episodes. Yes, I'm so glad to be back, man. It's so cool. Thank you for the super chat. Weatherful, thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Hey, we're up to 77,059. We got a few during this live stream. Lady Eternal, thank you for the super chat as well. The C-section was horrible, especially since Viserys decided without even asking Aemma. So much gore front-loaded with the actual Game of Thrones was showed to the back, half and glossed over. Hope they got it out of their system. Yeah, I think they, Lady Eternal, it was horrible, and I think she was unconscious, if I'm not mistaken. What do you do? I'm glad they didn't obviously show much of that, yeah, but they did say they wanted to highlight childbirth in those days, and even though it's not quite as bad as people believe in the Middle Ages, the real Middle Ages, they're trying to highlight that in different ways, apparently, from what I understand. So that's why they showed it. They wanted to show how horrible it is in that kind of situation. But now, I will say, homeboy on the battlefield or the lists, whenever the bloodshed started breaking out, House Mallister lost somebody. I don't know. I don't remember the Mallisters of that era or something like that. But Mallister, dude, I just remember the sigil, the kind of the eagle sigil, hawk, whatever, the blue eagle, right to the fucking face, man. Damn. I mean, there was a couple of scenes where they remind you it was Game of Thrones for sure. So. Anyway, I do understand what they're trying to do is kind of show that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't go. I don't think they went overboard. Like, at least it wasn't like the whole episode. But there was a couple pretty damn gnarly things. Matthew, thank you for the super chat as well. What in the hell are those balls in the council room? From what I can tell, Matthew, we were speculating on this earlier in earlier live streams and videos. After seeing them in the teasers, they seem to be some kind of, I'm here, accountability things, maybe for the Maester. I don't really know. There's no real purpose. Could be a voting system. We never saw them vote on anything yet, but what if they, for example, when they vote, they take that ball, put it back in the center thing where they get it from, and then the Maester would count those up. So maybe it's for the Maester. I don't know. It's a cool little touch, but there's not really a point, I guess, but they all obviously put it down before they start speaking, so it seems to be like a I attended the council meeting type of thing. Maybe also a voting system. We'll see, but it's not a book thing for sure, so I have no idea. Debbie, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it, Debbie Quigley. Carrie, thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you, Carrie. Really appreciate that. These all help a lot, so much. You have no idea. I really appreciate that, Carrie, and the subscriptions as well. I think I've caught up there. But yeah, I guess just real quick, Lady Eternal. I think that was it was hard to watch, but I think they want it to be. If that makes sense. I mean, can you imagine if she's unconscious and you have to make a decision like that? I mean, it's just unbelievable. So, all right. So I think I'm caught up. That's all I want. I just had, I went over my little chicken scratch notes there just to kind of just do a rundown real quick. But overall, again, loved it. Loved the little touches with Valyrian, with those things with the dragon keepers, things like that. They didn't have to do. Dragons stinking, those little things. That's what made it more realistic. There's just something that HBO does that other shows just can't do. There's some feel. It's almost like a filter over the damn thing or something. You know what I'm saying? We did get to see Far, Lord Kev. We did. Got to see Far, but unfortunately it was at a funeral. But she did say Dracarys, and, we got the Aemma funeral pyre. So that was pretty cool, just to see Dragonfire again. We'll see a lot more of that. We have 17 in this damn show. A lot of dragons and a lot to keep up with. Henry Hunter, welcome. First time here, great to have after chat. Yes, welcome, Henry. We did this for years with Game of Thrones, and we're back, and I'm so glad to see this show. People seem to really digging it. I know a couple people in here I saw didn't like it or put 5.5 or whatever, but I don't really do ratings. I don't know how I'd rate it like out of 10. I've never really done a rating system. I just, I don't really think it's I guess it's just kind of an overall good way, I guess, for some people to rate a show. But it was definitely an outstanding first episode, and I think it's at least already, from what I've seen, is going to live up to Game of Thrones. I mean, you have the showrunners who are experts in Ice and Fire with George R. R. Martin, obviously the fucking author. Outstanding first episode. I think if a lot of people who watched Game of Thrones who didn't like season 8 and kind of were like, I'm done with all that stuff, if they watch this, I think they'll come back. I do. I think they'll come back. So, all right. I know I've missed a lot of questions as I was running through my whole rant there, so I apologize. Feel free to repost anything. I'll check Patreon as well in a second. Joe, to my knowledge, there's no dagger in the books. That was just more of a Game of Thrones TV thing. There are Valyrian steel daggers and all that, but that was meant to be kind of a tie-in to the Long Night and all that stuff. So, Pratty, what you responded to, Shara. I'll say that really quick about the whole Corlys Velaryon thing. I said this earlier in other live streams. I don't think in this case it's some woke move. I think it makes sense for TV. I think he played him well so far. We'll see a lot more of him. I think it makes sense for a show where you have a lot of Valyrian people with the same color, hair, and eyes and names with Y's in them, as I always say. I don't sense any of that stuff here. The whole show is about two women in a world of in an old medieval patriarchy type system. So I don't get that sense here that it was some, message or something. Believe me, I would call that out if I thought so. We talked about that before. I am worried about Lord of the Rings being just modern day politics. I don't want to see it. I'll watch this stuff to get away from it. Carrie, watching it the second time while watching you, even Steven, more the second time around. Yeah, there'll always be more stuff. I'm sure I've missed a shit ton. Meg Paul, even though Rhaenyra was adamant about not wanting to be queen, she looked scorned as hell when Viserys spoke about her. Oh no, she did. She wants to be. She says that, but you can see clearly it gets under her skin. Let me check Patreon real quick too and pull it up really quick while I'm thinking about it. In case any of you Patreon members have posted on here, I will put this over here too so I can see. Where's my post at? Let me find my post real quick where this shines a big bright light in my face. All right, here we go. All right, so I don't see anything on here yet, but I will keep this open. Nope, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong post. Here, this is what I'm trying to get to. Okay, so nothing there yet, but remind me if any of you guys on Patreon. The reason that's one of the things with Patreon, just in case you guys are wondering, is that it guarantees you to get a question in or whatever, because I will miss a lot of these in the live chat. So there's a post there for anybody who wants to post a question or a comment or whatever they want. Feel free. Nicole Taylor, Rainey's and Mayleys. I want Rainey's. Yes, we'll get plenty. We'll get that. The last little teaser that came out, which will probably be, I don't know if it'll be a later episode this season or just kind of any time, but I'm thinking it's going to be later because I think we see Mayleys and Rainey's riding with Lena or Laenor in Sea Smoke. So it'll have to be a little bit older Laenor, so probably after episode 6. 6 through 10, we'll get more Rainey's and Mayleys. We could see Mayleys anytime, but that particular shot, I mean. What's up, Jason Weeks, Warden of the North? What's up, man? How you doing? Let's see. Pratty, Matt Smith is natural in this role, so good. Yeah, I didn't like him at first when I first saw it, but he grew on me real quick, and then after seeing it tonight, yeah, it's Daemon. It works for me. Some people may not like that. I know the wigs were kind of a joke, but they always have been. But after watching him and and then the teasers and seeing more photos and then kind of seeing Matt Smith himself talk about the character in some interviews and things like that, I thought he did pretty damn good. He's definitely I liked him immediately, especially the scene in the small council when he's talking to Otto Hightower. I immediately liked him. Matt Tyler, is Ned Stark the only hand of the king not to be a conniving piece of shit asshat? Yeah, it seems like it, Matt. No, there's been other really good hands of the king, hands and stuff throughout history, and specifically throughout the Targaryen reign, actually, because they reigned most of the time, as you know, till Robert's Rebellion. But yeah, not everybody, but I guess in any position of leadership like that, you're to some degree you're conniving or at least trying to position your family better in some way. But yeah, there's a few. Bolting Vulture, they surely played a game or three of Coming to My Castle. Yes. Yankee fan, Rhaenyra and S. Allison connection find weird. Well, it is different from the books as far as their friendship. I don't know if you're asking any more than that, but I think it actually works better to have them close for a story, especially for TV. You have them close, and then you're going to see kind of a tragedy befall everything. So, yeah, Henry. Yeah, his cunt line will become a meme. I'm sure it will. They're probably out here right now on Twitter or whatever. Oh shit, Doc just reminded me. I'm sorry, I did forget, Doc. I completely forgot. I forgot to put on the wig. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that next week. This is kind of a filling out thing for me too, Doc. I did forget though. Just running around with like a chicken with my head cut off, man. So damn it. Aaron, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. And I think that was the last one in my list. I apologize. All right. Let's see. Oh, Carol, you were asking about the helmet. I'm not sure what you mean. What about the helmet? His helmet during the joust. I thought it was outstanding. I love the wings on it. That was a Rhaegar kind of a thing. I mean, not just Rhaegar, but it's just what reminds you of Rhaegar, because that's what he wore during the Battle of the Trident, and the modern times are all that. And he had the rubies in there and the armor. The armor was badass. I love the wings on it. And of course, that's just for the joust for show. You saw his regular kind of helmet without the wings for like the City Watch and all that. So I don't know if that's what you mean, but I thought it looked cool as shit. I do think of Dragon John Haymaker. I ride the dragon all the time, man. What you talking about? Guild. Blackfire is the king's sword's name. So Blackfire and Dark Sister are the two Valyrian steel swords of House Targaryen. Excuse me. Blackfire is the great sword that Aegon the Conqueror used. Helmet looked like Red Bull gives you wings. It did. I thought the wings were badass. Remember, if you've seen that artwork of Rhaegar and the Trident fighting Robert, he had the same winged helmet. Let's see here. I know, Lord Kev. I'm sorry, Doc. Man, I failed you. Shara, am I the only one who doesn't like Daemon? I don't know. I can't imagine there's not other people that wouldn't like Daemon. I mean, you don't have to like Daemon for sure. I love him because I think not because I'm not going to like. It's going to be like any other character. You're going to like some things they do or love it, and then other things you'd be like, nah, probably shouldn't have done that. And there's going to be some more of those. But I like him because I think he's always been my favorite Targaryen since I started reading stuff back in the day. The Rogue Prince story, all that stuff. Obviously this is a fairly new book, Fire and Blood, considering the other ones, the old Rogue Prince and all that. But he feels more real to me. Like he's wild. He's a wild card, but he's also like he's not gonna play games. He just calls it like it is. That's why I like him. But no, I mean there's probably a lot. I'm sure there's other people that don't like him. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody say that directly, but we'll see. Queen's Justice helmet was fire. It was badass. That would be hey, look, I have the Helms helmet sitting over there. Y'all guys remember from old Con of Thrones? I brought that home. I would buy the Daemon helmet. I would buy the Daemon helmet to put up on a stand. I'm sure it's already being produced somewhere after this. Because, I mean, look, this show, we're going to probably hear about the numbers here soon. And, it's going to be a big hit, I'm sure. I think K-Dubs, I don't think he's in here because he couldn't get HBO to work. He said everything else was fine, but every time he tried to watch it, it crashed his app, so he couldn't even watch the damn thing. So that may have happened to a lot of people. Nicole Taylor, yes, Prince of Petty, he is, for sure. He's damn sure petty. Carol Brown was live tweeting during the show, and that was exactly what she was saying. Meg Paul, yeah, such a charming little shit. Excellent portrayal. I agree. He is a charming little shit. There's something you just like about a shithead. You know what I'm saying? There's just something. Kind of the stereotypical bad boy. Peter Ritchie, thank you, man. Just got your book. Excited to check it out. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy. And by the way, guys, thank you. Again, I say this every week, but I feel like I have to. For everybody that's bought the book, anybody that's back or new here, I wrote that book. It's been out since October of last year. The Crimson Gods, I'll just mention it again. Dark fantasy. Urtach did some artwork in here. Urtach, if you know, is from the Game of Thrones community, and he's an outstanding artist. It's going to be in the new Dragon book coming out in September, I believe. And he did some artwork in here. So I mean, it's just it's the formatting in here is outstanding. and made it look so good. The hardcover's got this, Crimson Lotus over here. So this is my dark fantasy book that I wrote. It was a 2-year project for sure, but it's been out for a while. We've got like over 100 reviews now on Amazon, so I really appreciate that. That really helps it out, as far as Amazon goes anyway. Skrittles, be careful, Skrittles, for your capital letters. That was Nightbot timing you out. Don't use all capitals or he'll do that. But thank you for supporting good movies, shows, stories. Yeah, man, that's what we do. We just want to talk about nerdy shit, man. Jon Snow, what's up, man? Targaryen, feels good to be back on the Westeros grind. It does. It's really cool, man. Because, you remember, season 8 just kind of, and then it was like, when it ended, it was like, damn. We knew it was coming to an end. We were all, me and James were saying that, like we're going to be doing the podcast. I'll be covering Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and The Witcher was coming out and all those things. But it's just something about Westeros, man. I'd stayed away from it for a long time because it broke my heart. But, when I finally started seeing like pictures from this, and then we got a little bit of a teaser or whatever, I was like, yeah, okay, it's time to go back to Westeros. Dark Side Joys, thank you, man. Thank you for the huge dono, dude. Thank you so much, man. 50, thank you, man. Or super chat, I'm sorry. Dono, super chat. I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you so much. Patty, thank you for subscribing as well. Get Sage, thank you so much as well for subscribing. And Salo. And I think I said Aaron earlier. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, 50 bomb. What's up, Tom Bystander? Yes, I am. I was out my stand early this morning, or actually, I guess you're talking about hunting or something. Skrittles, MMORPG game, Game of Thrones on PC win. I don't know. Do we have one? I'm down. I played all the other games, but not like good real RPG. That would be cool. Like, I just played Elden Ring. I finished it twice. We need an Elden Ring style, Soul style Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon game. I'm sure we'll see some games coming. Miss Day, hey, SmokeScreen, glad that you're talking about anything that has to do with God. Love the pilot. Yes, glad to be back. Thank you, Miss Day. Glad you're here. It's really cool, man. It's really cool to see everybody coming back, and that people seem to enjoy it. I haven't seen anybody. Is anybody here, just out of curiosity, anybody of I think we still have like 500 people in here. Anybody not like it? Look, Doc, you got more emojis. Doc's using. We got Rhaenyra, we got Daemon, we got Caraxes. I added the Targaryen sigil, and then I had to update. But once we get some more channel members, I can add some more emojis, Doc, so you have even more to use. I was trying to theme it right, Nicole Taylor, thank you for subscribing, and thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But yeah, does anybody didn't like it? Anybody saying like, hey, didn't love it? Or or maybe just it was all right. Just curious. Yankee fan, pregnancy was a tough scene. What a choice by the king. What do you think of the scene and choice? Yeah, I know it was. It was tough to watch. Because on one hand you're like, okay, it's breached. The child could already be gone. Save your wife. And on the other hand, you're like, but it's my child. I don't know, man. It is tough, and I think that's the point. It was supposed to be tough just watching that scene. I can't even say. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine a choice like that. So, but yeah, they want to show the realness, the grit of this time period, and that type of thing with childbirth and all that stuff. And you heard the Aemma Aaron in conversation with Rhaenyra. It was good to have that scene with her mom about childbirth, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. And Rhaenyra's like, no, I'm not. I don't have, but she kind of ends up doing it. Joseph, Patrick, I feel the same way. That's what I said earlier. Wasn't sold on Matt Smith's casting at first, but he nailed Daemon. I totally agree. At first, I was like, nah, yeah, something's not right. Don't look right. Wigs, all that stuff too. But I'm telling you, he grew on me quick. I think he nailed Daemon. Becky better than expected. Makes sense. I think a lot of people probably feel that way for sure. Meg Paul, necessary setup episode and such. It was excellent. I agree. I think just, again, minor things I could be nitpicky about. Yvonne Lee, just like the good old days. It is. It's very cool. It's very cool, Yvonne. Marquita liked it a lot. Going to have to watch it again, though, because I missed some things. The conversation were quick on some scenes. There was a couple. I had to like back it up and see what they said a couple times. But maybe I didn't know if that was my TV or just how they. I don't know. Yankee fan, great live stream. Thanks for no problem. That's what we're here for. We're here to chat about it, man. What's up, Dragon? 5616. Look very carefully, but nobody left an empty Sundrock can on set. No, they didn't. I was wondering if we're going to get a coffee cup thing. I think they learned from their mistake there. What's up, Ari fan? How are you? I liked it, but the whole ice and fire thing, the White Walkers didn't make it past Winterfell, and Stark killed Night King. The kingdom wasn't united. No, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like the way we saw it play out. Again, we'll see what happens. We'll never get the books. The last book. But yeah, the way it played out, and it's just like this one night thing where they just killed him by jumping out of a tree, kind of dampens that if you do think about it that way backwards, for sure. I didn't even think about it that way. I thought the idea was cool to connect it to, like, being Aegon being somewhat aware of some prophecy or a dream or whatever about the long night, but he's not sure what it is. So, in their eyes, it's kind of vague and they're not sure what's coming. But now that we actually saw what happened, at least in the show, it's like, yeah, it's not really needed to be. We didn't need a united kingdom. We just needed a tree and a dagger. Well, there wasn't even a tree. I don't know what she jumped off of. So yeah, the way they did that kind of messes this up for sure. That's true. Yamazuma, so you're responding to somebody will be 32 when her father died. Yeah, so there'll be about, I'm guessing, it's just a guess again, around episode 6, I believe, we'll have a time jump. And they've changed some time, they've compressed some time, so I'm not exactly sure. I can't give you exact dates or anything. Although we do know 129 will be the dance. I'm sure they'll stick to that, but they'll compress some time in between or whatever. So we'll see like a 15 or so year jump, maybe 16, 17, I'm not sure exactly. Probably episode 6. So we won't see young Rhaenyra and Alicent and Laenor and Laena and all those. Then we'll see the older actors, and that will be it from that point on. So it's just a guess. I don't have any information that I think that will probably be episode 6. And I think it's going to be that shot we saw in the trailer where we had Rhaenyra popping out, and it looks like it's kind of the first time you see her at that age. So we might have like one of those fade things where young Rhaenyra sitting there thinking, and all of a sudden it kind of fades to her. It'll say like 16 years later or something. Dogja, first episode, thought it was great. Only first one this season will get a lot faster than the first season of GOT did. It will get crazy faster for sure. I don't know, like again, it's just only one. It's only one episode. I don't know how I would compare it to the first episode of Game of Thrones, right? Because when you first watch Game of Thrones, it takes 2 or 3 episodes to really go, oh, okay, I'm digging this. But now that you're familiar with Game of Thrones being a prequel, then it's easier to get into it quicker. So I don't know how you can compare it there, even if it's comparable in that way. But it was outstanding for the first one either way. And I think you could go into this and not even really know Game of Thrones and still really enjoy it. Skriddle's House of the Dragon is George R. R. Martin's creation. People need to understand that it is good. Sure. They don't have to like it. Gregor Smith, the overbite on Rey is distracting. Gregor, I think that's kind of sexy. I'm just saying on Rhaenyra. I think for some reason I just find that attractive. Just me. Let's see. K-Buck. Rhaenyra is truly a baddie. I think so too. Bolting Vulture, did anyone else think it was a bit odd that Viserys styled himself ruler of 7 kingdoms when Dorne didn't officially come into the fold for another? Oh, I didn't even catch that, Bolting. That is true. Yeah, Dorne is not. Well, remember when Kristen Cole came in there and took his helmet off, Rhaenyra said, or was it Rhaenyra or was it Alicent? One of them said he's Dornish. So they're there. They're kind of peacefully coexisting, but they're not officially. You're right. I didn't even pay attention to that. Maybe they went ahead and just called them the 7 Kingdoms because they were like participating or like they're not at war or anything, and they hadn't been for like 60 years, right? Because Jaehaerys and all that. So maybe they're already just calling it the 7 Kingdoms, like they will be officially one day. But yeah, you're right. They're officially not. So they could have still been saying the 6 Kingdoms, but I don't know. I don't remember. I think in the books it still says 7, though. I believe when those kind of things are mentioned, titles, and all that stuff. Matty Benz, I think from episode 3, everyone will be hooked. I think so too. I do. I think so. Once we get next episode, we'll probably get a start to the Stepstones. Once we see some dragons doing some damage. A little more of that. We'll see probably the Daemon trying to leave Dragonstone with a dragon egg. That'll be Rhaenyra, and the question is Rhaenyra on her uncle's side there and the little conflict. I don't think there'll be a full fight or anything, or is she like supporting Otto because her father sent Otto there? So it's going to be a weird position for her. Moon Boy, can you tell me what those things are on the table that look like little eggs on the table when they talk? Yeah, we don't know. That's not a book thing to my knowledge, Moon Boy. We're just been guessing that it's just some kind of like, hey, present, I'm here system to keep track of who's attending the council. And possibly a voting system or something where they put it back in the middle for a vote. But we don't really know. It's just kind of brand new. Jon Snow Rules. What's up, Jon Snow Rules? Just finished the episode. Apologies for being late. Don't apologize for being late. You're not late here, man. Not late here. Nicole, thank you for subscribing. Felicity, thank you for the super chats. I'm sick about how good it was. I'm terrified they're going to rip my heart out again. Dragons looked off to me. I cringed when Viserys told Rhaenyra about the long night. They could have waited on that. I did think, Felicity, you're right. I do think there was a little bit of a rush on the long night thing. I think that could have been a discussion for later. That's what I was saying earlier. I think there were a few too many little info dumps like that. It didn't feel natural, but I guess this whole thing is because it's kind of a new thing to choose an heir since the council, as opposed to just a natural born heir, because usually there's a child and a male and all that stuff. You would think they would have that conversation later. It did feel like an info dump to a degree, so that was kind of odd. I agree. But Bullens, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Shanice Morse has super chatted. Thank you, Shanice. So basically, Robert's Rebellion ruined the king's secret. Maybe Bobby B would have been a better king if he knew about the White Walkers. That is true. Yeah, the absolutely, because Viserys, went to his grave without telling. I mean, did Ares tell anybody? Did he tell Rhaegar? I'm thinking Rhaegar may have knew because he did read about prophecy. But again, that was before George R. R. Martin decided this was a thing, and he said he read about it, so he said, I must be a warrior. So Rhaegar probably knew. But again, Robert's Rebellion kind of ended that whole thing because it was never like a peaceful transition or something where you had, hey, by the way, look, you're going to be the new king. Ares is crazy and all this shit. But I think Rhaegar would have made that known if he could have. If he would have won that war, I think he would have made it known to everybody and become like the conqueror as far as like trying to actually get along. I think he was trying to eventually get rid of his father. So you're right. It did definitely screw that up. Let me double check Patreon really quick. Don't see anything. Oh, there it is. Lord Kev on Patreon. Thank you, man. When When you do in fact put the wig on, we're going to give you a traditional Targaryen name, name you something after Daemon, like Dammit Targaryen. That could work, Big Kev. Yeah, that'd be funny. There's Heinous. What's up, Heinous? Some men you just can't reach. Thank you. Thank you, Heinous. Appreciate that. What's up, Nobi Dupree? How are you? Martin says these books are a fantasy version of the War of the Roses in England. Much of political themes from real history and crap like this happen and still does in this world. Yeah. I mean, the main books for sure is based off, the Starks and Lannisters are based off the War of the Roses for sure. This was based off a different event, but yes, that was based off real history. During the weird, odd, kind of cringy House of the Dragon panel at Comic-Con, he explained to Emma Darcy and some other ones that was asking about it. He kind of gave a history lesson on what he based this off of, but it was a different set of events, but obviously without dragons. But there were several of these type of things, fighting over a throne for sure. HLM Merc, I'm sorry if I'm reading that wrong. Am I wrong? But didn't Sam Tarley call it A Song of Ice and Fire? Yeah, the book that Maester wrote was called A Song of Ice and Fire, which was cool. I think that made sense for the book, but that's why I thought it was odd to call this dream A Song of Ice and Fire. Just call it The Dream of Ice and Fire. I don't know. So that was a little odd, but I think they were kind of forcing that kind of info stuff in there, and that's what I was saying about the info dump, and then to call the actual dream itself that you're passing down from generation to generation, A Song of Ice and Fire. That feels a little forced to me. Let's just call it a prophecy or the prophecy or the long night prophecy or something like that, I guess. So I agree that kind of makes sense. Mark Clark, Dammit Targaryen, first of his name. There you go. We'll do it, man. Ethereon, thank you for the super chat. I thought the Song of Ice and Fire was from Rhaegar, based off a nondescript oral history from the North. It is. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's odd to have this called that too. It's about the same thing, but there was a Pact of Ice and Fire that never happened until Jon Snow happened, and that fulfilled the Pact of Ice and Fire. So to call this the dream itself is kind of odd. So, yes, Jon was the Song of Ice and Fire. That's what that meant. That's what the whole thing meant, So it's... I guess they're trying to connect it in more than one way besides just a dagger, I guess. But, yeah, it was a little odd to call it that. But OP, great beginning. I agree. Outstanding. ATC, the SmokeScreen, the throne looked terrifying. I like this version better. Yeah, yes. I did like it better after seeing Daemon sitting on it for a while and then from the sides and all that. I mean, obviously it's still not the book version, but that's a monstrosity that I can understand them not wanting to do. It's too much, and they can't... eventually they can explain how they, if they decide to even explain it down the road for maybe another show or another era of Targaryen history, somebody's going to have all those swords removed on the sides or whatever to make it look like the current Game of Thrones Iron Throne. So I would imagine there's something like that going on. Dammit Targaryen and Eddie Stark. That's right. We have a new character here. Are we going to use Dammit though? I mean, Daemon. I guess we can. Yeah, there you go, Becky. There you go. The North prophecy, the Northern prophecy. I don't know. How about the coming storm? That sounds good. That sounds like Optimus fucking Prime. Autobots transform. Matt Tyler, thank you for the super chat, man. Does it make sense that the cave drawing exists under Dragonstone now that we know Targaryens were having danger from the north? Yes, no, they would already be there. 100%. Even if they didn't know, even if Aegon didn't know and they didn't confirm that theory or whatever, yeah, the cave drawings are already there long before. So we should definitely, I hope we see those. I hope we see them again. That would be a really good connection to make as well. Doc Holliday, A Song of I Don't Want It. There you go. That makes sense now. Went to them in story. Bobby Baratheon says, Teet, what's up, TT? What's up, TT? I just read Teet at first. Sorry. I believe it was based off the period in English history called the Anarchy, the war between Matilda and her cousin Stefan. Both were grandchildren of William the Conqueror. I definitely know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure if that's what he said. I would have to go back and look, but you may be right. Nicole, keep hitting the like button, let people know we're back. Yeah, that would help. I don't know what we're at here. I think we're still got 490 people. That's cool. It's already 11:30. People are still hanging. I think we made it to 683 was the top. That's pretty cool. I didn't know what to expect tonight at all with all this stuff. I had no idea really. Lady Eternal. I'm sorry. There's Mother Dragon Taryn. What's up, Taryn? I didn't see you there before. What's up, Pen Muse? How are you? I'm sorry, I'm just now seeing some people. I tried to say hello, but I know people were piling in and out all night. Lady Eternal, again, thank you for the super chats again. For the 20, I appreciate that. Ama wasn't unconscious. She was awake, saying she was scared. Oh, no, yeah. During that, yeah, sure. Yeah. No, you're right. I was just saying, like, while he made that decision with the maester, I don't. It seems like I remember laying her back there unconscious, and they were wiping her head or something. She was awake and scared, begging him not to do it. That scene brought an otherwise good episode down for me and Mom, both longtime GOT fans. Hope the rest is better. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. No, she was. It was like he was trying to comfort her, but you can't really comfort something like that. Yeah, I get it. And it was supposed to be uncomfortable to watch. I think that was part of it for sure. But no, you're right. No, I didn't mean during the actual procedure for sure. She was screaming and kicking, and it was definitely hard to watch. Sammy, bring the City Watch to New York. I mean, hey, look, some places need Daemon and the City Watch for sure. At least in that the pettiness of Daemon. Moonboy means back luck when they poke themselves. I'm not sure what you mean, Moonboy. Carrie, yes, Carrie. I thought there was something, Carrie Penliner. I thought there was something about in the book about the king always cut himself on the sharp throne. Yeah, a lot of kings have. Maegor the Cruel was supposedly found impaled on the Iron Throne. So that was just 2 kings ago, before this show. So that supposedly happened. Dany's father, Ares II, was called King Scab. That was his nickname, was King Scab. So there was a lot of that stuff going on as far as, like, the Iron Throne literally cutting you up. It's literally the worst seat to sit on, especially the book version being a monstrosity. A lot of people actually stopped going up the Iron Throne as far, kings. They would sit at the base of it because they would get cut up every time they went on it. So good little touches there, by the way. It was cool to have Viserys cut himself on the throne. I mean, that's obviously a cool physical thing, but a figurative thing as far as like the seat and what it means. John Haymaker, I know. Yes, Daemon needs to work on his stroke game. Daemon was having some trouble there. I'm not sure exactly what happened with Massaria there. I mean, but something was on his mind. Obviously, that was the point of. But it looked a little odd. It definitely looked a little odd. Of course, I guess that always looks odd. But it was baby strokes. It was. I was thinking the same thing. By the way, I have this thing. Pulled up. I didn't even show any screenshots, but I had this little this video put up where I'd recorded and everything, and I was going to scroll through and look at screenshots. But I do have. If we need to see anything, I can actually pull that up. The other thing, speaking of that, just the Iron Throne, though, I don't know why they did the little spot thing on Viserys' back. I mean, they're insinuating, I said that earlier, but they're insinuating like cancer. Maybe it's just, I guess, foreshadowing for like bad health in general to come, but it's definitely not the way it goes down in books to my knowledge. But yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about Baby Strokes from Moon Boy because it was first Pokey lost its Prince and Queen. Oh shit. Becky, Chris, that sexy deep voice. Oh Lord, Becky. Hot almighty. The basement of love. I'm about to lose it. It's getting there. All right, I'm trying to get back to the Jasmine. It was, man. I'm telling you, I was thinking the same thing. I was kind of snickering. It was like really little baby strokes, little. Anyway, he did say that Matty Benz, but the maesters said it was a wound that was not healing. It was getting bigger. So yeah, that was a new thing. They seem to be implying something more than that. Nobi, they can burn it, but the infection is already in the blood. Yeah, right, Nobi. But that's the thing. I don't know why they're adding that part. Maybe it's, again, just for some foreshadowing. But again, without spoiling anything, that's not how. It's not what happens to Viserys. It's not a. I'll just avoid any spoilers. But yeah. Doc, thank you. 40 months being a member, by the way, Doc. The longest on the channel here, I think. I think it's the longest we actually had memberships. I can't even believe we had memberships that long. Doc using his free super chat thing that comes once a month, I believe, for members. I think they tried to justify the C-section with their conversation about not being able to have any more children. Yeah, they did. She did say this is the last one. It's basically killing me. And we felt horrible, she was apologizing. I'm sorry if I've let you down about not having a son, but in those days they didn't know anything about, they have no control over that. I think he should have at least said, you didn't fail me. You can't help, stillbirths and things like that. So they're kind of making a big deal out of the whole birth thing, for the sake of the story and heirs and all that stuff, I guess. But now we got Baby Strokes, the hashtag. That's going to be a thing for sure. Meg Paul said something and retracted it, so we're not sure what that was, Meg. We'd like to see that again. Mazuma those though. Mazuma text me what Meg Paul said. I need to know just out of curiosity. Gregor, yeah, pre-antibiotics. You're right. Pre-antibiotics, you could die from a bad tooth infection. Absolutely. You absolutely could. ATC, I was thinking grayscale. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Honestly, it didn't even cross my mind. It was spreading and it had that kind of a goo on it. That is true. But that's not a book thing. That's what I mean. Whatever it is, it's new. But yeah, they could be implying grayscale. Maybe just for connections, but that it would be new for him. Period. There's no grayscale stuff in that story. But I mean, yeah, they're obviously changing a few things, but so far, I mean, it's pretty damn close adaptation. Bolting Vulture, Mad King was misunderstood. He was trying to get his wounds cauterized when he said burn them all. Hey, you may be right. That or White Walkers. Tom Bystander, Nightbot, how do you think I read the Crimson Gods audible? Oh, Nightbot spit. He's spit out commands. Yeah. You can't get it for free though. For anybody that doesn't have Audible, you can get the book for free even if you cancel the free trial. That's what that link is there, by the way. So I'm telling you, the audiobook is outstanding. He did an amazing job. Graham Mack is the guy who did the voice. Who did the voiceover, the book narration in 70 voices. Outstanding. Sammy's got all the answers here. King Viserys needs a boatload of natural remedies for his boo-boos. Cold dust, a blue soap paste covered with pepper leaf. I need to consult. Hey, do it, man. Hey, reach out. Tag HBO on Twitter with your knowledge, dude, for real. Kate R, thank you for becoming a member. Kate R joining the channel as well. Thank you. With the free folk, I think there's 2 levels. I can add more if people would like some stuff like that, for sure. Let me unclick that. Randy Suematsu. Oh, that's right, Randy. Randy and Doc tied for 40 months. Thank you, Randy. Member for 40 months using his super chat thing. Other than Otto, name one person we'll come to hate. Ooh. I don't know if you'll completely hate anybody like him. And I don't want to spoil anything for people. Randy, you know what I mean? I'm just said Otto because out of the gate, you can already see what he's doing. I can name one, but I don't want to, Randy, because right now, if you hadn't read anything, you're going to think he's a cool dude for a while, and I'll just say that. I know one that you would definitely. I mean, I think most people will come to hate, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So if you don't mind, Randy, I'll be glad to message you or on Patreon and tell you who I think. But I don't want to say, just in case, you know. The Maester could be Kara. I wasn't thinking about the Maester. Yeah, it could be, but it's nothing major. But I know of a character we did see this episode that probably a lot of people will come to hate. I do. I mean, it's just me personally, from the books, I do. I will say for those of you who know, just like a hint, just to give my perspective. He, again, if it's true, according to Mushroom or Eustace or whoever, I'm not sure exactly which story's which, he draws first blood. I'll just say that, and you know what I'm talking about if you've read. Marcus, Aegon's Dream. Yeah, I mean, that would have been a better name than the Song of Ice and Fire, which it's just kind of odd to use that. Jon Snow rules. Yes, I said that earlier. The 10,000 ships Nymeria thing was certainly a plug. I don't know if that will make it to show though, but it was definitely a little shout out for a reference to that, for sure. I mean, she specifically mentioned Nymeria and the Rhoynar and all that stuff, and Marion to House Martell and all that stuff. And 10,000 Ships specifically is supposed to be the name, at least it's the working title of that show already. Cat Shepard. Otto isn't as bad as Littlefinger. He's more like the Tyrells Machiavellian. I don't know. I think they're pretty similar. Littlefinger's smarter. In the sense, and of course he uses, he's got the network of spies, kind of like Viserys and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I think, in the sense of like family, Littlefinger's probably a little worse in the sense of he really don't give a shit about anybody but himself. And I think Otto Hightower probably loves his daughter and his brothers and family, and he's doing it for his houses and stuff like that. So there's a bigger thing there to some degree, but it doesn't excuse in my book the assholery that he's about to partake in and what he's already started. So I don't know. I think he might be. I don't know. He might be worse. They're pretty close. Matt Tyler, how should we feel about the White Worm girl? Yeah, Massaria. That's a good question, Matt. For whatever reason, I feel like she's no good, but I don't want to. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. I think I don't think she's. Again, it kind of depends on your personal feelings on the story and how it goes, and if you're like Team Black or Team Green. She's with Daemon. I will say that. So I don't think she's going to be completely horrible, and I don't want to spoil anything other than that. But she's not going to sell him out. Let's just put it that way. Tom, did Jaehaerys say that Valyria was destroyed by dragons? No. Well, Jaehaerys didn't say anything. You mean Viserys, I believe. Viserys did say that trifling with dragons was a potential. I don't think he knows this, obviously. I think he thinks trifling with dragons and all the stuff they did over there with the mining and stuff, which is what really caused it, was the reason the 14 flames blew up. He said it's a power men should have never trifled with. So he believes that. But yeah. It was odd. And again, we don't get this stuff. That's what I mean about the detail from the TV show, how cool, because even people who've read the books, we don't get this detail. You don't get a lot about Viserys. You kind of get the overview of he's a good man, but not a great king. He's just kind of wants to keep the peace, so he throws a lot of parties and tournaments and stuff like that. But you don't get like the details of this stuff, and they're adding this magical element completely. So, yeah, I think that it's a pretty good job they're doing with a character, and George R. R. Martin himself said he loves this version with Paddy Considine better than his own books. So. But yeah, I think he thinks that. I do. I think he thinks that, trifling with nuclear weapons, and again, I'm air quoting, obviously, is the reason that he feels like it's fate. So, that's a good question. Steve, what's up? Stephen Mirelet got here just now. Nice show to set it all up. Yes. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome in. It was overall outstanding way to set it up. And again, I was saying earlier, I think you can not know anything about Game of Thrones, and I think you would enjoy the show. I mean, assuming you like fantasy, obviously. Obviously, it helps with some of the connections there and the little shout-outs and whatever, but I think anybody can like this show so far. Pen Muse, yes. I was going to say this, Pen, but I didn't want to mention like future things and spoil anything. But you're 100% right. I understand, and I was going to like say this later when we kind of see the direction here. But honestly, Alicent is just as bad as she did not have to go through with it, but I think she did. I will say this is and you're right, Pen. Alicent is. I'll say this as it's a very general spoiler, because obviously we know where this is. Most people, I think, agree. I think we all agree. We know this is going to be. We said it before. I think Alicent and Rhaenyra. It's really between them, right? This whole war. This is my thing about Alicent, Pen. And I'll try to be vague, but I mean, they're going to end up enemies, right? We know they're going to end up on opposite sides, the blacks and the greens. I've explained that a million times. Everybody's probably seen a million YouTube videos. If you've read it, you already know, obviously. So they're different teams. When Rhaenyra is named heir to the Iron Throne, this whole thing is about, we saw with Rhaenys, about a woman's never set the Iron Throne. They passed over Rhaenys. She's called the queen who never was. Well, Alicent gets married to the king, and then they have their kids. And obviously, Aegon II will be their first child, the eldest son. And when Rhaenyra gets named, if she would have simply just said, you know what, I'm going to let my friend take the Iron Throne like she's supposed to, because she was the named heir, and it will also set a precedent in Westeros that women can rule, then none of this would have happened. None of this. So, yes, I didn't want to just say that out front, but yeah, I mean, Otto starts it, and at least they give him the impression in this show, but Alicent is just as bad. Later, not right now, obviously. But we won't go into any detail. Good evening, Emotionally Unstable. How are you? Welcome back in. Let's see, Kent Johnston. I just saw. What's up, Lydia Quinn? How are you? Cat Shepherd. Yes, I like Rhaenys. Yeah, I agree. She's canny. Team Black. 100% here. Hashtag Team Black for me. I've seen a few people claim Team Green in some of these live streams. Not many, but there are some. And I would be interested to hear those reasons after we go through this show and just, kind of, I like to have that discussion when we get to the end. Kent Johnson, what's up, Kent? Q&A, do you think we will see which dragon laid Dany's dragon eggs? Wait, this was already Alyssa Farman. When did this happen? I'm mixing up everything. We talked about this the other week. Alyssa Farman stole Dany's eggs from Dragonstone, but that was when is that? What era is that? Somebody help me out here. I'm having a brain fart. Was that before or after this? I believe it's before because it is before because all right. So Alyssa Farman steals the dragon eggs, and they are Dany's. They will eventually be Dany's. We don't know. It's not stated which clutch it's from, so I don't think we'll ever truly know. And the reason I'm saying I think I'm remembering correctly now, it's before this time frame because she sails across and goes west of Westeros. She does all these things. She passes the Three Sisters, these islands out there. She gets to Essos. And Corlys Velaryon sees what he thinks is her ship in Asshai. So that's already happened. So unless he mentions something like that from whatever, we may not know because they're already been sold to the Sea Lord, probably, I believe. But yeah, that would be a cool little connection. Maybe we can somehow find out. Sammy, black has always been my favorite color. Same here. My favorite non-color, Sammy. But yeah, you know what you mean. So my team is a no-brainer. I also love young Rhaenyra. I do too. I think she's really good. Barbara, I don't know what you mean, Barbara. Circus freaks and boring plot again. I don't know. You talking about the show, or are we talking about something specific? Bridget Scott, I like Cyrax. I spell it wrong. Yeah, it was cool, by the way, speaking of Cyrax, it was cool when the Dragon Keepers spoke High Valyrian, but then they, whatever they were saying, Cyrax, that was kind of cool, little thing they threw in there. Justin Shields, what's up, man? Welcome back, man. It's been a long time no see. Bob, thank you for this subscribing. Mark Rucker, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate that. Welcome in. I think look at there, 7790. We're getting. I'll feel good in a couple weeks. We get back to 84,000 where we were when Game of Thrones season 8 ended. I feel like we're moving forward again. But I really appreciate everybody subscribing. You do me a huge favor if you hadn't already. Hit that subscribe button. All that stuff. It's free. I know everybody asks you to do it. I know it gets on your nerves. But it's important for YouTube's robots to understand. Yeah, people may like something. Maddie Benz, Sunfire. Yeah, we saw Sunfire in the last little teaser, a younger Sunfire that will be Aegon II's. I'm pretty 99% sure that's Sunfire we saw, but I don't know what you're referring to here. You're probably replying to somebody else, so I apologize for getting in the middle of your conversation. Bolty Vulture Q&A, any winners in this show? They skip over that. Yeah, no winners. Well, the Red Spring and all that kind of stuff, no winner. Again, we might see some snow, the winter snows of Winterfell, once, probably in a later, probably season 2. But yeah, no winners. Chicken to jail. Yeah, Allison is she's just like a innocent young girl. That's kind of the tragedy of it. For sure. Allison's fine right now. ATC, Q&A, will there be flashbacks showing the doom of old Valyria? I don't think there will. I don't think they're going to do the flashback thing. That's what we kind of wondered early on was what we're going to see flashbacks. Is the bottom of my screen okay? Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm sorry. It just looked like it was off there. But the two timelines. So I think that's a better idea. so we'll get the 5 episodes. I'm guessing 5. Again, it's just my guess. 5, 4, 6. I don't know. Where you got the younger cast, and then the older cast will come in from that point on. But I don't think we'll. I mean, just my opinion. I don't think we'll get any flashbacks. I don't know for sure. Troy Lat, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Tam Hutchins, welcome back, Tam. How are you? It is very cool to be back with the fam. This has really been really cool tonight, guys. I really appreciate you guys hanging out here. I know there's a lot of people streaming now and lots of YouTubers out there that you like hanging out with. I really appreciate you guys hanging out here. Really cool, and hopefully some of you guys caught Tony Teflon's pregame stuff earlier. I think a lot of people joined him tonight. So that's cool. He's got the pre-show going. I think I was going to say this too, and I'll ask again. I was going to try the whole watch party thing, but I didn't tonight. But we could try that next week or something if it's something. I just don't know how, because I've seen, I don't know if you there's a guy named Star Wars Theory. I know he does it for like Mandalorian and all those Star Wars shows. You can't show anything. You can't show no audio, no video. It's just like me sitting here, and there'll be a timer in the corner where I can, be all in sync, where I would say, all right, you ready? Go. Hit the timer, and we're all watching the show together. And I can sit there and like say, oh, cool, or make some comments, kind of like a reaction type thing. But you really can't focus on the chat or anything like that, and the chat obviously wants to focus on the show too. So it feels weird to do, but some people seem to enjoy it. So I thought about trying that tonight, but let me know what you think. I don't know. A lot of people said there was I did a little poll, and there was it was like an 80-20 split. People saying yes, but I don't know. I don't know how it would go. Bridget Scott. I love the tree in the show. Yes, they changed that, but I think they're going to add the magical element, so they put the werewood tree in there, if not to use it later for some actual thing, because Rhaenyra will be sitting by it a lot, so maybe she'll get some voices or dreams or whatever around that tree. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But also just to give us a friendly reminder of the past Game of Thrones. Shavanda, am I saying that right? Shavanda, I believe. Shivananda, ready. Can we expect Baratheons? Yes. You'll see some Baratheons. We saw one actually this episode. If you remember, we saw when they were doing the tournament, we saw a Baratheon who is Rhaenys' cousin come out there. So you'll see Boros Baratheon for sure. I'm not sure if that was him tonight, but yes, not big roles in the sense of you'll see them all the time, but you will see them pick a side, and I won't spoil anything. Emotionally unstable. Thank you for the super chats. Let me get to it here. I'm sorry, I'm getting behind here. The tournament scenes were great but brutal. By the way, this is Tina. Oh, hey Tina. I'm sorry. I'm glad to be part of these Sunday streams again. I didn't know you had a separate thing, Tina. I can see your little logo there. I recognize your logo I believe from Twitter. Your little picture there. I think that's your Twitter handle. But yes, thank you, Tina. They were brutal, and doing it at the same time as the childbirth. So I think that was obviously a cool way to do it. Mother of Dragon Terran is the only SmokeScreen is the only damn YouTuber. Shit. Betrayed King what's with the Northern Houses and Andor night turnings. I don't recall this being regular in the books, nor them wearing traditional knights, the Southerners. Yeah, Northern Houses should not really be involved. I mean, specifically the Starks. Obviously, we didn't see any, but let's see. Who did you catch a Northern House in there? I didn't even pay attention to all the different houses. Obviously, their banners were there. They're invited to watch and all that stuff, but they're not taking part. Northerners don't do knighthoods and all that stuff. They're just fighters. They're not knights and stuff. They don't believe in all that crap. I mean, I guess some could, but the Stark certainly wouldn't. But I didn't see any Northerners. I didn't pause it, though, yet and look at all the different houses that were lined up there when he was picking. Next week, watch party. Star Wars theory is... Yeah, no, I don't watch him, Tom. I've seen his thing, and it's just like, I just felt like, why would somebody want to sit there and watch my face going, oh, damn, okay, cool. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. I felt odd about it. Because, when you want to focus on the show and not, a live chat. But I guess I could just throw it up. It wouldn't hurt anything, I guess. But just see if people are interested. All right, Becky, have a good one. Good night, all. Work tomorrow. Chris Dream's coming. Uh-oh, Becky. Have a good one, Becky. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. I'm really cool for all you guys coming back tonight. All right, Raging Butterfly, have a good one as well. Good night, House of the Dragon fam. Raging Butterfly, sorry I didn't see you earlier. If you've been in here chatting, I don't know, but thank you for hanging out, Raging. Yeah, Lord Kev, it's just for fans to see instant reaction. No, I get it. I don't know. Maybe we'll try it. It won't hurt anything necessarily, but it's just like another hour to stream, and then I'd have to do it separately from this one. I'd have to jump over to another stream right after. Because I want to be able to have the ability to, maybe not leave that one public or something. Jon Snow rules. House of the Dragon is already expanding this universe with the lore stuff. Yeah, they certainly are, especially adding the kind of the magical element, the Aegon stuff for sure. Dark Angel, have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. John Haymaker, is Ed Sheeran going to be? No, please, no. Okay, Betrayed. There was a Bolton and Stark. Didn't see the Bolton in action, but the Stark was the third. Okay, I did not notice that. Betrayed. Yeah, Stark should not be. I mean, look. I guess it's not a rule. It's just something they generally don't do, especially that far north anyway. So yeah, I'll watch it again. I don't know what Stark that would be, and it really. Yeah, you're right though. It should not be a Stark in a tournament. I wasn't even paying attention to the other ones. I just saw close-ups and people smashing axes in Malister's heads and shit like that, man. But I didn't see any Stark armor. I didn't. Yeah, I mean, what armor would they have? That's true. Oh, the sigil on the breastplate. Yeah, they do have. That is true. They do have Betrayed King. They do have the John was wearing a partial hard plate armor with a sigil in the middle, but yeah, I don't know if that time Rickon Stark is Lord, so obviously it wasn't him. He's old at this point. Maybe just another Stark. It could be another a bannerman that is wearing their sigil, just representing too as well. Jose Galindo, Stark's bent the knee. Yeah, no, that was a long time ago. Torrhen Stark bent the knee, the king who knelt. Torrhen Stark. During Aegon's conquest, he was going to fight, but then he heard what happened at the Field of Fire, and he saw dragons, and he bent the knee to Aegon, became the first Warden of the North and Lord of Winterfell. So he got to keep all his lands and titles. Christian Cruz, yes, watch party, invite different guests to watch with you. Yeah, no, Christian, I just meant on here, a live stream. It'll be just like this, except there'll be a timer on the screen. You know what I mean? I don't know. We may try it. Yeah, no, but we saw Rickon Stark was the Lord at the time. He will not be at the end of this show, though. There will be his son, who's still they're aging everybody up to, but in the books he's still too young. So that will change to Cregan Stark by the end of the show. We might see the Hour of the Wolf. I won't go into all the details of that, but that's a little thing that happens at the very end. I don't want to spoil anything, but we will see some, from time to time, some Starks. Yeah, I did see the Flayed Man banner. I saw the Bolton banner. I just didn't see any actual knight. Jon Snow, I hope we see Princess Nymeria for sure. I'm hyped. Well, I mean, I think it'd be cool, but I wouldn't be as invested in that as I would be like Dunk and Egg and all that stuff first. But yeah, I mean, they definitely nodded to it. No, this is Cat. This is way before Ned, of course. What's up, AJ Montgomery? How are you? Welcome back in, AJ. Hello. Let's see. Randy Suimatsu. Yeah, Rickon Stark, exactly. I didn't like his look, by the way, Randy. I mean, I know we won't see him again because he'll be gone and we'll see Cregan next, but he didn't look like a Stark to me. I mean, I know he's an older dude at this time, but he just looked weird. Lord Giantsbane, should we be keeping the letter Otto sent in mind, or was it just a bit of filler for that scene? It seemed they put a lot of emphasis on the ceiling and handing off before Alicent came in. Yeah, it's definitely something. Otherwise, I don't know if it was just showing him doing Hand of the King stuff, but I don't remember any specific. He's probably sent it to his brother. Because he did say send it to Old Town, right, or Hightower, to Old Town. So the thing I think they were possibly hinting at was the Maester conspiracy there. So keep an eye on it, Lord Giantsbane, but I don't know if it'll play out to be anything. So you had him hand it to the Maester, which, the Maester is the normal guy to do that anyway, but it seems to be hinting at a Maester conspiracy. That's what I was saying. There's a couple little things that made you think, okay, yeah, this may be a thing, or at least they're going to make us think it's a thing. So if you're not familiar, there's an old theory since Marwyn the Mage was in the main books that he says to Sam, who do you think's killed the dragons in the first place? And he's referring to the Maesters and this conspiracy potentially to get rid of Targaryens and dragons because they don't believe they should have ever touched them and brought them into the world. So that may be what it's hinting at. Princess Scarlet, what's up, Princess Scarlet? Just made it in time. I don't have HBO, so I had to be a part of a watch party. Very cool, Princess Scarlet. Welcome in. We've been here for a minute already, but couple hours. Let's see. What am I? I'm sorry. I'm missing some stuff here. Dunk and Egg cameo. Well, Maria, that would be a little different timeline. That wouldn't be. It couldn't happen now. That would be another 3 Aegons down the line. So, yeah, that will be hopefully the next. It is Mizuma's saying too. It's one of my favorite stories in this whole thing. It's a great fucking story. All 3 of the novelettes or whatever. But he wants to write more. So right now they would have probably 3 seasons of Dunk and Egg at the most. But do them and then just pause them. That's fine with me. But yeah, I'd love to see it. Bolting Vulture loved the music when Rhaenyra and Alicent were heading back to the Red Keep from the Dragon Pit, sang of peace and calm, yet ready to burst into a civil. Yeah, I mean, look, man, you cannot underestimate or not understate the music in this story. This show. Rajan is back with the music, and you can, you kind of pick up on that more like the second and third time when you're watching these type of things, and you're like, yeah, okay, that you can feel the scene more. Where for me, it's like, okay, I'm scribbling down chicken scratch notes, and so I don't hear everything the first time. But yeah, I mean, I did definitely notice it. Tom Bystander, Alicent is a smoke show. I don't know how Viserys wasn't on that instantly. Jesus. Well, I mean, his wife did die, like the day before, I think. No, but he didn't look Starky at all. If you're talking about Rickon, he did not look Starky. He didn't look Starky. That is absolutely what I thought. Jake from State Farm, what's up, man? Can we get to 78K subs, please? 78. Well, I mean, can you get 900 more in here? We're close to 77.1. That's cool. Thank you, everybody. Speaking of that, Callie, thank you for subscribing just a few minutes ago. I apologize I missed that. And Troy Lat, I believe I missed that one too. And Bob, I'm not sure if I said Bob, and Mark Rucker. Thank you for subscribing. Maddie, Otto and the Maester's plotting. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the Maester, the whole Maester conspiracy. I know what Otto's up to. I mean, obviously with, he's already whoring out his daughter, essentially is what he's trying to do. But I don't know if is he involved like in the whole. Well, I don't think it serves him to be involved in something that would happen soon for sure, because he's positioning his family obviously, and then of course his grandchildren would be kings and all that stuff. So it doesn't seem like it fits for him. That's why I've never been like completely bought into the Maester conspiracy, because it doesn't fit his agenda either. But never know. All right, Chicken to Jail. Have a good one, man. Thank you for hanging out. Appreciate that. Let's see. Jon Snow holding out for a Valyria show. We may get it. I mean, this may generate some more interest in other houses besides Targaryens. There were a lot of other houses, man. Watch out, Museum Nightbot got your message for something. Oh, you got capitals. Doc, thank you for the super chat, Doc. Appreciate it. Would you have made a killing as a candle maker back then? Good choice as a vocation you made back in the. Yes, exactly. What was that, Doc? That was a live stream, and somebody asked me and James what we would do. Wasn't that a live stream, or was that I think it was. But that's the first thing I said was a candle maker. That's actually, Doc, you read this. That's why there's a candle maker in here, because I thought about that seriously, and I made it kind of a thing that it was just sounded cool too. Son of the candle maker. It reminded me of old Hellraiser, Son of the Puzzle Maker. That was one of the aspects of the candle maker thing. It's funny you said that, because that's what made me think of that for that book where I have this Son of the Candle Maker lineage thing, which I won't obviously spoil. But yeah, that was. Why would you not? I mean, candle makers should be living it up on an island. Carol Brown, have a good one, Carol. Thank you so much, Carol, for hanging out. Glad to see you hanging out again. Appreciate it. It's not so crazy this time, Carol. With I don't know, 5,000 or 8,000 people, whatever it was. You're the only mod, so. We got lots of competition now and stuff, and probably people better and more entertaining out there. But thank you, Carol, so much for coming back. Good to have you back. And the next 9 weeks, we got more to do, and then we'll probably do a couple more after that, too. If you could just edit videos for me, that'd be appreciated, Carol. Or somebody. If somebody wants to edit, somebody can edit videos, please email me. Just decently. That would be cool. I wouldn't drive myself crazy. Yeah, that would be a big budget, Jon Snow, for sure. But your baker and the candlestick maker. That's right. You got to have candles, man. They're everywhere. They use so many. That'd be 100% the first thing I picked. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow. I'll tell you what, everybody. If you want to hang out for a few more minutes, we will. But let me run to the gentleman's room. Really quick. And then we'll go for another 15, 20, whatever you want to do. However long you guys want to hang out, it's fine. Because I have to get busy on the review and watch it again and all that good stuff. So real quick before I go, because I see a question. Miss Empress, Chris, do you think we will ever see the Isle of Faces? Yes, Miss Empress. Give me 1 second and we'll talk about that. So give me 1 second and let me give you guys some music. And there you go. And I will be right back, and we'll talk about. Remind me, the Isle of Faces. Alrighty. Let me do this. Okay. Good night, Nata. Good night. Have a good one. I see she's out of here. Thanks for hanging out, Nata. So the Owl of Faces. The Owl of Faces was asked, and so excuse me, later in the show, I don't know if it'll be like a season 3. Probably a season 3, just guessing based off the timeline, but they are kind of condensing some things. Adam Velaryon, which you have not met yet, obviously, will come along, and he will end up with the dragon Sea Smoke, which we'll see Sea Smoke soon, with Laenor, and he will go to the Owl of Faces. Now, I don't know if we'll see it, or if he just flies there, or if it's just said, but he is one of 2 people ever, to our knowledge, that's been to the Owl of Faces and seen the Order of the Green Men. The other was Howland Reed. Obviously, we talked about him a lot in Game of Thrones, and we were supposed to see him. We thought we would, and it never happened or whatever. But yes, we should see. I hope we're going to see. We should see the God's Eye, at least like the lake, which we kind of saw the edge of that, I guess, in Game of Thrones. But when Arya was going by it or whatever. But we hopefully we'll see the Owl of Faces. So it's very there's potentially a scene there. So, with that said, we could see, I don't know. Children of the Forest, Green Men, I don't know what they'll do. Stymie, what's up, man? Long time no see. Welcome back, man. Yeah, Princess Scarlet. It was a sad scene with Rhaenyra. She was like, she started to say Dracarys, and then she had to wait, and then kind of looked over to her dad, and yeah, it was a sad scene. All right, so let me get back down here, and we'll go a few more minutes. Almost at 77,100. Really appreciate that, guys. Maria, have a good one. Good night. Thank you for hanging out and also being a channel member. Really appreciate that. Mazumi, Howland Reed, much discussed, rarely seen. Yeah, they really fucked that up in Game of Thrones. That should have been an obvious move to bring him back and explain some stuff, because he's got knowledge about things. So I'm curious if we will get some Adam Velaryon stuff later on. That'll be again later. He's a bastard that's legitimized by Rhaenyra, and I won't spoil anything beyond that. It's just some minor stuff. But yes, he will. He does go there, and so hopefully we see that. Bolting Vulture, baby Balon dying so suddenly kind of took away from the death scene. I thought it should have been focused a lot more on his condition with him being. I agree, because I think he lived for a few hours, and again they just kind of like made it look like he was like the maester was holding him and he stopped breathing or something. There should have been maybe a little more to that, to where Viserys is not sure, immediately, but they made it feel like pretty instant. I don't know if that was to kind of relieve the audience from that horrible scene anyway, get it over with or what. But yeah, that is a little different. But it was it was said to be a few hours, I believe, in the books. I was hoping to see Little Barth, but we just missed him since. Something jumped. Started the Great Council. Yeah, and that was the other thing, Meg. I did not. Did anybody catch a glimpse of Mushroom? Did anybody see a Mushroom running around? I looked, and I was trying not to like overly focus on things like that, because I just wanted to just take it all in. But I don't think I saw Mushroom, and I'm sure somebody would have spotted him. Hopefully we'll see Mushroom. Maybe he's on Dragonstone right now. He did go back and forth. We got to see Mushroom, man. We got to just at least see him. I mean, he was there in some cases. Therion, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, man, for the 10. Really appreciate that. What is unfortunate as far as the show goes, you already know the Shitopia future. We know the general stuff, but the cool thing is, Therion, is we don't know all the details. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these books have very little dialogue. All this dialogue is completely new. What really happened with Daemon and Rhaenyra, for example, with some Strongs. I won't get into spoilers there, and so certain deaths were they like accidents. So there's a lot of little things like that we don't know for sure. So all the details would be interesting to see. That's what I'm enjoyed about it so far. Is it's got to be hard to translate a fictional history book to, you know, TV without especially dialogue. So everybody's saying no mushroom. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have been the first thing. Hey, I saw a mushroom. Excuse me. Jon Snow, that city watch scene was brutal. It was, man. It was absolutely brutal. I mean, but that's Daemon. Daemon went down there and like, look, this crime is running rampant. This is my brother's city, and like you said in the thing in the council, people are coming to this tournament. And you don't fuck around, man. You steal it, you lose the hand. You do the assault thing. Again, I'm just not saying words for YouTube, but you're castrated on the spot. He didn't play. Bridget Scott, Sarah Snow. I don't know. I don't think we would. I don't think. It's possible. I think there's something when I don't want to say who goes where yet, Bridget, but when somebody goes to Winterfell, I think there is something kind of between them or a feeling, so to speak. So we could, but I don't know if they would particularly name her for the show, or at least, or whatever. There is a promise of marriage and all that kind of stuff, you know. So the whole Pact of Ice and Fire thing that kind of never happens. So I don't know if we would see her or not, if there's a need, but we'll see if we even see like a full scene there, or maybe just the person flying there. Obviously, you know it's somebody can fly, but just to avoid spoilers, I'll just say possibly, but I would doubt it. Yeah, new sheriff in town. Exactly, it was right. Yeah, Jon Snow rules. Yeah, the dialogue. Yeah, but Daemon's wife, the bronze bitch. That was all straight out of the book. That was what I meant. That was another one of those things that felt like a little bit of an info dump. But again, I understand it made sense in that context. You know, get back to your wife in the Vale type of thing. Get out of here from Otto Hightower. And then he comes up with, you know, I think my wife's happier with me not there. You know, and the men are pretty. The men fuck sheep because the sheep are prettier. I mean, that's why I loved it. It kind of reminded me of the Hound in a way. That's why I love Daemon immediately, especially that scene. But that is all for sure. Yeah, Princess Scarlet, that bronze bitch stuff. That is directly from the books. He does mention that for sure. And again, that's a mushroom story. Sammy, Westeros is a magical place. Season 8 can be undone way beyond the wall. I wish with all my heart. I mean, it's possible if they move forward with this Jon Snow thing, man. We'll see. They could, you know, change at least something. They can't really undo all of it, obviously. They can't fix the Arya Night King stuff, or the Night King just lasting one night and things like that, you know. But anyway. Yeah, that was kind of a meta thing. Jon Snow rules. Rhaenyra ripped the page out of 10,000 ships to book to pitch to the Scepter. He works for HBO. It was kind of a meta thing, wasn't it? Mother Dragon, yes, it was. Cool to see King's Landing in all its Targ glory. Yeah, you saw the dragons everywhere, little statues, a lot more detail this time. Obviously the banners and stuff like that. It was really cool. And then you saw people inside the halls. I mean, you actually saw people walking around. There was a few extras in there, and in certain scenes it was full in there during court, like Tyrion's trial, for example. But, you know, just seeing the hallways full of people was different and cool. And again, the wall art, nobody's explained yet. Maybe they will. Why there's a bunch of Kama Sutra artwork on the wall. That's certainly not a book thing that I'm aware of. All right, Yvette Reese, have a good one. We will see you next week. Thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it. So yeah, it's 12:30. We'll get out of here. I know people has to work tomorrow, and I have to go watch the thing again and then scribble down any more notes that I may need or whatever. Watch a little more detail, all that good stuff, and I was able to record it, so I should be able to get a video out fairly quickly. One thing I didn't even stop it. Like I stopped it to run up here and start the music and start the live stream. We didn't get a video this time or a little thing like next week did we? Because I usually do like a preview. Maybe that's something they'll drop in the middle of the week or something like next week on Game of Thrones. But I didn't see that. Did I miss that? Because it like ended and I just kind of ran up here, hit the thing, and got the music going and got the stream going. Grabbed a drink and all that stuff. So was there a next week on House of the Dragon little clip? I guess I should have paid attention. Yeah, Jon Snow, the White Walker props. Yeah, it does kind of in a way because they just screwed that up so bad. So the prophecy's cool to like have it and be confirmed and all that. That's that old theory. But again, it just didn't amount to anything. It didn't need the whole kingdom. You needed a bunch of people together, but it was basically the North, and then Dany obviously being Targaryen was part of that, but and the major reason actually, but just to stop it, it's just stopped at Winterfell. So it did take a Targaryen, but it really just took dragons. Zara Mushroom, he's just a dwarf. He's a court jester, like your typical court jester. That's the way he's described, and he ends up with Rhaenyra on Dragonstone, but he's in King's Landing and Dragonstone. He serves a lot of people, Targ. So he's just your kind of dwarf jester. They did in the weeks ahead. Okay, Karen. So I did not see that. Then there was an in the coming weeks scene. Okay, so I need to find that and look at that then, because that's what I'll do that video too. It's usually like a short 2 or 3 minute thing because it's not much, but just to speculate on what's coming. So yeah, thank you. I'll have to grab that footage as well. I stopped it. All right. Very cool. Thank you. Darth Barbecue, I think the preview was after the episode 1 making of. Okay, so I'll go back and I'll definitely check that out after we get off here. Yeah, Scarlet. Well, that changed because of Princess Scarlet. That changed because Robert's Rebellion and Rhaegar. I think Rhaegar knew. He knew about prophecy anyway, and now we probably know why he knows. So, yeah, that got ruined when Robert rebelled and that whole thing with Aerys, the Mad King. So that put an end to that, but it kind of ended up being passed on to the Targaryens anyway, with Jon Snow finding out about it first, and he just found out directly. So I guess that kind of works. Back to work in a few hours, Mother of Dragon. I know. Everybody's got to get out of here. I know. Especially on the East Coast, but Nobi, there's one character from God alive already. Yes, I know who you're talking about, Nobi. I was going to say that earlier. I'm glad you said that. I will say it for you, if you don't mind. There is one character that is alive right now that we maybe they'll, if they think about it, they could at least show us. Should be young right now. Her name would be Melanie at this point. Melisandre is alive at this point. The only character, not even Bloodraven, is that old. So we may see a young Melanie. She would have to be, I'm assuming, in Essos as a slave at this point. So I don't know that there's where she would be seen. We don't know a lot about her. But yes, we could, and that'd be cool. All right. Again, thank you everyone for hanging out. Really appreciate it. We almost made it to 77,100 again. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out, all the subscriptions and super chats. Really, thank you so much. Let's see. Lots of memberships again. Again, thank you, Evil Villain, for another bunch of gifted memberships to people. Hopefully, people were able to cash in on that with the thing. That's weird that you have to enable it. No, oh man, no. She's not alive yet. Not even her. But yeah, it'd be cool to see Melisandre. It would cool, young Melisandre. Yeah, I guess she'd be called Melanie at this point, wherever she is. But maybe a hard home. She's not a hard home yet, not quite yet. All right. So again, thank you everyone for the super chats, the subscriptions, the channel memberships, all that good stuff, for hanging out. I'm glad we're back with House of Dragon. This has been fun. It was really good. I think it's just going to get better now. That was a good introductory episode. Again, just little minor things, like a couple of lines that felt a little bit forced, kind of information dumps, but they kind of wanted to get it out there and just get established who's who and all that stuff. So, if you're still in here and you hadn't yet, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be on the lookout tomorrow for. I may get it done. I don't know. If I can work quick, I might get it done fairly quickly. The review video, more in-depth review about everything, that's coming out. And then I'll grab that footage for whatever they showed for, in the coming weeks. So I'll try to do a little video on that, maybe Tuesday or something too. And if there's anything else that pops up, I don't know if I need to do a separate video on the Aegon stuff, because I kind of just did that again last week, I think it was. But I can say it's confirmed, so maybe I'll just talk about that in the review video. So, again, thank you all. Thank you guys. Appreciate mods for hanging out here too as well, and grabbing spam and all that shit you have to deal with. Sometimes I don't even see it, which means y'all are doing outstanding. So thank you. Good night, Marquita. Have a good one. Someone, what's up, someone? I didn't see you before. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging out. Again, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Good night. Have a great week. Glad we're back talking about something in Westeros. So thank you guys so much. Love you all. Thanks so much. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.